you're so fast after tearing an Achilles.
Why won't you ask questions?
Oh, I will.
Ask the questions. I mean,
Dude, the guy's the fastest dude on the ice, and he tore his Achilles. Like, how many months ago? 8 months ago?
Yeah, July 1st when my surgery. Yeah.
You were like, I know it's a different sport, and you have support in the skate, but that used to be like a career ender. It's wild to me that dude's come back like 8 months later.
Yeah. No, it was a battle for sure.
hockey player, Mike.
Yeah, well, I got questions about that, but then we'll start the interview. It's Anthony Duclair.
The interview has already started.
Well, okay.
The interview
Duke,
is.
I love you.
Yes,
just so you know, I love you.
Is that a question?
Yeah, Duke. First question. I love you.
Love you too, man.
Yeah, wow. Just like Lomberg.
Great answer.
Yeah, these are my guys.
Game 1 is Saturday night, 8 p.m. He's a cool story. They're a cool story. I don't understand how any of this is happening. I'm confused because it is super strange to have the most exciting offense in the history of the league during the regular season and then say, you know what, never mind about that. Let's play totally differently. Don't want to play that exciting way anymore. When we're down 3-0, then we win 7-3. Not going to do that anymore. Going to grind it out. Going to do it with people who are coming off Achilles tears and who are just going to tough and dirty and annoy you to death.
Going to do it with guts and grit, Dan.
And a hot keeper. That always helps.
Yeah.
It always helps to have a guy who is stopping anything. So thank you for joining us, Anthony. Can you?
Why was I the only person doing that?
You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
That's bread.
Can you tell us some of the more emotional snapshots that you have in your mind as you remember the run of a lifetime here? Because maybe you guys expected this, but it has to have a bunch of stuff in it that stands out for you because of how hard it is to climb in this sport during this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's, it goes to the start, Boston series, just being the best team ever. I think that's where our confidence came, throughout the whole playoffs. I mean, I think you look back at the save Bob made. I think it was Game 5 there with Markshaw's coming up, a couple seconds left, and then he saves that, and then Chucky ends it in OT, and then I think from there, boys really, just believed in ourselves that we were going to win there, that game at home, and then Game 7 is a history from there, and then just being that team, and then moving on to the second round. I think there was no doubt in that locker room that we were going to get it done, and I would say the same thing with Carolina. So we're just a really confident team right now, and it's just been a joy, and it's been an unbelievable ride.
Did you expect this, though? Did you guys expect this?
I mean, you go into every season, expecting to win. So, I would say, back in December, January, I think our minds were kind of like everybody where, we didn't really know what was going to happen. But, I think, even, our playoffs started, I would say, a month before, playoffs even started. So, just the way we were playing, the way we were confident, we knew we were a good team. I mean, we're only 1 year removed from President's Cup trophy. So, I mean, for us, we knew we were a good team, and we don't really view ourselves as an 8 seed. So, I think anything is possible at that point.
But if I come to you, you say no doubt and whatnot, but if I come to you 7 games before the regular season is over, when you're changing goalies because they don't seem to trust Bobrovsky, and I say to you, where's this going to end up? Your response to me is not going to have any doubt in it.
Honestly, I wouldn't say that. I would just say that we're a confident group, and we can achieve a lot of things. Even back then, to be honest, we knew we were a good team. Even when I came back, like I look at our lineup, like we got a really good team. So I can't tell you I would have told you, hey, we'd be in the finals, against Vegas, but at the same time, I can definitely tell you anything can happen. That's for sure.
What felt better to you, winning at the end of 4 overtimes, winning with 3 seconds left, or ending Boston's season in Boston?
And they're all special moments, different excitements. But, I mean, Chucky's goal, I would say a couple seconds left to win it, to go to the finals. That's a dream come true, to be honest. You kind of envision that moment, growing up about 1 million times, headed to the Stanley Cup finals. And for that to actually happen right in front of our eyes has just been unbelievable. But all those moments you described there was just really exciting moments, and everybody was just so happy for each other, and just excited.
Wrong. The correct answer is ending Boston season in Boston is the correct answer.
You're telling him how to answer your question?
That is
Dude,
correct.
a walk-off to send you to the Stanley Cup Finals
Wrong!
is pretty cool.
Wrong.
Stanley Cup Final, no S. Sorry.
The best hockey team there ever was, the Boston Bruins. They're the best that
I
ever
know
was.
the right or wrong answer there.
Yeah, those are three really good ones. We've had a pretty memorable postseason. Duke, I do want to talk to you a little bit more. I know we had some pre-interview chat about the injury that you suffered. Number one, tearing an Achilles sounds excruciating and has been described as such. What about your game has had to change? The hockey skate does allow for some coverage there. You still got the straight line speed, but is it cutting a little bit different? To me, it kind of seems that you're looking to be a little bit more of a facilitator that year, and I don't know if it's just because maybe you have some physical limitations. Can you describe to me the rehab and how it might have changed your game some?
Yeah, I mean, tearing your Achilles, I mean, for people that have done it before, it's excruciating pain, especially right after surgery when, everything wears off. It's not fun. And, you're couch potato for 2 weeks, you can't really move. And, there was a time there where I just didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously, my goal and my mentality was to come back even stronger than I did before. But at the same time, I am human, and I do read into, what's going on, and I do read into what's happened with other athletes in the past, and obviously a lot of them haven't come back like they have before, and that kind of creeps in your head. But for myself, just trusting the process, trusting my trainers. I had my trainer from back home live with me full time throughout the whole process, and so I had a guy there. Just in my home, working my Achilles every single day. Didn't really take any days off. Mentally it was very tiring, but it's an everyday thing. Come to the rink, first one there, last guy out type thing, and it wasn't fun. I won't say I came to the rink with a smile on my face every day, but I just grinded. It was grind, and I just remember why you do it for, and here I am. Very blessed to be in this position. It was a long process, but I was happy to come back and get my skates on, and it is a little different than obviously basketball and football where you're just impacting your Achilles right away. I do have my hockey skate where it's covered in a boot, but it was a battle. I do have to change my preparation before games. I do have a little longer warm up now, and making sure that not just the side that I tore, but both sides are ready to go and loose, because now you're kind of favoring the other side, and then I've heard some guys favor the other side so much and not even take care of it that they end up tearing the other side. So I want to make sure that didn't happen, and you just learn so much about the body, you learn so much about how to prepare yourself, and I think I took that time to just watch the games from up top and just learn from the top players from the other teams, and kind of take notes off superstar players around the league, and then whenever I would come back to the game, take those things and kind of add it to my style of the game, and I think I've done just that.
Is everyone on the team trying to be the first person in and last person to leave? Does that create a logjam in the parking lot? How does that work? Are we all fighting to be the last person to leave the facility?
I think everyone's got their thing. Everyone's got their routine. We're all grown men now, and you don't want to switch too much. What's been working's been working. So that's just kind of how things work. And now I'm just now in that headspace where I'm just happy to be one of those first guys I had to come to the rink and last guys out.
Las Vegas and Florida, not exactly the original six. Do you think the entire country of Canada hates this?
Well, I'm sure Leafs fans are too happy with Florida, but that's just how sports works. You just never know what's going to happen, and but I mean, for us, we don't really care.
Oh, but you're Canadian. That part had to feel good. No, like that, it's ridiculous. It's asinine.
I am Canadian, but I play for South Florida, so I'm all South Florida now.
Can you
Duke.
can you take us through your family's backstory on how unusual it is for someone Haitian Canadian to end up doing some of the things that you're doing? How improbable it is to arrive with your family's backstory to where it is you are here now.
Yeah, I mean, both my parents were born in Haiti, and both moved to Montreal at an early age, 5, 6 years old. And I actually come from a football background. My uncle played in the CFL. My dad played college football, and you growing up in Canada, you're put into skates no matter what. And for myself, I was put in skates at 2 years old, and I was already skating by the age of 3, 4, pretty regularly. So. Obviously the Montreal Canadiens, the hockey team there was a team I looked up to, and obviously took note of a couple players that I looked up to, and obviously Saku Koivu, who's a longtime captain there, and I just knew that's what's something I wanted to do at an early age, and just took over from there. And my dad, my parents pushed me extremely hard, and so many sacrifices they've done, and didn't have always the best equipment, but they'd always made it happen, and always sacrificed their time and for me to get out there on the ice as much as possible. Obviously, extremely grateful for them.
Anthony, just real quick, can you explain to me, and I know this is an ignorant question, but in the best of 7 series against Carolina, you guys played how many times and won how many times?
We played 4 and won 4.
Okay, so I'd like to get your commentary to what Rod Brindamore had to say after that series to this sound.
That's the unfortunate part of this, is that he's going to look back and everyone's going to say you got swept. And that's not what happened. I watched the game. I'm there. I'm cutting the game. We're in the game. We didn't lose 4 games. We got beat, but it's, we were right there, and this could have went the other way, and it could have been 4 games the other way. And tonight, the way it ended is tough. Getting a penalty like that, that's tough. Especially what was let go, and then that's gonna sting. But not to take anything away from the other team, because they played hard. But I think we took a huge steps this year. Coming this far, like I said, with what we were missing is pretty impressive.
Your thoughts, Anthony?
Honestly, I get what he means. You take into consideration every game was won by 1 goal, and games were tight. That was probably the most grind we had in all the series. They're a really good hockey team. They play tight. It's tough to get any offense going. They play man-to-man in D zone, and very tough to infiltrate their Ds. But we did win 4 games in a row. But I do kind of understand what he's saying. But at the end of the day, it is a sweep, and we're very proud of it, and just ready to get rolling here in the finals.
Lomberg argued that it's actually the rare 5-game sweep because he played 2 one time in the same night in Carolina.
Very true. That's that first one was I was just hoping somebody was gonna finish it there at the end there. I didn't want to go in the 5th overtime. The legs were a little gassed there.
Listen, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I know there are 4 wins remaining for you guys, but have you taken a moment to allow yourself to imagine what a parade down Sunrise Boulevard would feel like?
Honestly, I don't want to get my headspace in there.
Right.
There's still so much work to be done. At the same time, we're just living in the moment, living day by day, and taking game by game, and then. If we ever get to that point, we'll definitely have a good time. But, we, like you said, we still have 4 wins to get to, and that's what we're focused on right now.
Anton, les Chevaliers d'Or sont une honte, non?
What?
Exactly.
Une honte, non? Les Chevaliers d'Or.
You have to say that one more time.
Yeah.
Les Chevaliers d'Or sont une honte.
Les Chevaliers.
The Golden Knights are an embarrassment, no?
Sorry, we made you do that 3 times.
I'm sorry.
Pardon her French.
She was trying to trap you.
I thought you were going to stump me with your answer.
That accent was a little too heavy for me.
I told you he was Quebecois,
A
Mike.
French Canadian told you your French accent was too heavy.
I am. I didn't understand.
Told you,
a little
Mike.
more practice.
Would you like to taunt the Golden Knights in French? I'm sure it won't be aggregated by anybody if you do it in French. Can you say nasty things about Vegas in French?
Want Jess to do it?
Aiden Hill, he's a hot goalie right now. He won't understand. They have one French guy, William Carrier, so I might get him in French a little bit.
Imbécile.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. It's been a lot of fun, and now you got to finish it or you're bums. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll work on that French there.
You work on your French. Anton.
I don't want to say publicly without knowing for sure that Jessica is reeling right now, but there have been an inordinate number of aggressive sneezes today. There was the back and forth here that I didn't know because I don't know French. I wasn't sure if she was made to feel insecure by that exchange because I don't know how strong her French is or isn't. And she warned Mike Ryan. She said there's going to be a translation issue, but we burrowed ahead anyway. And he asked again and again, what are you saying to me? And now, because I don't believe we're feeding people very well around here, she's also, not unlike a pelican, just shoved some half of a sandwich into her face very quickly. Is everything okay?
No, I'm so rattled right now. There's a lot going on. First of all, it's my fault because I should have trusted my gut. Mike said, can you ask him a question in French? And I said, he's from See, I can't even.
He's from Quebec.
Oh, okay.
He's from Quebec. I said he speaks Quebecois. I grew up learning French from the country of France.
For the uninitiated, mainly me, what is the difference?
Yeah, for real.
Quebecois is a different dialect of French. I'm not even really sure because I've never been to Quebec. I've never tried to speak it. I've never.
Is it like
spoken to
Argentinian Spanish where I can't understand
I'm not
a friggin' word they're saying?
Truly, ask me 7 years ago when I was in college. I probably would have given you a really good answer. I don't know.
But you
all
knew
I
it
know
was
is right
different.
now it's different.
You knew it was different.
And I knew it was different. And I didn't know exactly how they say Golden Knights in French because the literal translation was Chevalier d'Or, but I don't know what they say. Sometimes they have cheeky little nicknames for things. I don't even know if the French have the Golden Knights on their radar.
But I kept pushing you to do this because I would
Yeah.
have thought it would have been a cool moment to flash one of your great skills.
And then I took a bite of my wrap and a chickpea fell out. And now it's lodged in the back
All
of my
right.
throat.
Well, we're going to gather ourselves as a show. I don't know what that sound was.
Chickpea.
The chickpea den.
The sound
We
of a
are
$5 fine.
We are going to gather ourselves,
God,
and
you're
we are
proud.
going to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for 2 days. However, before I talk about it, I want to understand what are, in the modern age, the spoiler rules for streaming things that are immensely popular. There are a handful.
See, I got mad at you yesterday because you made a little line there, and I'm pretty sure it was a clear reference to the Succession season finale, and you can't be doing that.
A friend of mine was very upset.
You can't be doing that.
Very upset. He's like,
Oh,
tell
and
Dan.
you know the
Tell
day
Dan.
after, you shouldn't be doing that.
Get out of here, Tony.
I don't watch Succession, so I don't
you
care.
love to
I
spoil
love
shit.
Succession, but also I love the Florida Panthers, and I love the Miami Heat. You understand what I'm saying? I'm the father of a 3-year-old. There's not a lot of time for Succession.
Let me again ask the question, because you are revving high, man. Let me ask the question. Spoiler rules for shows that are appointment viewing that everyone seems to be talking about at the same time on social media. There are classifications to this stuff. Game of Thrones, there aren't very many places and times in the modern age where you have old school appointment television where people don't want to watch it an hour and a half later. They want to talk about it immediately after it's happened on social media and react to it. They don't want to hide from social media for 2 days because you're not going to be able to avoid. It's not going to be possible to avoid Succession spoilers.
Honestly, I think when it comes to a major series finale like Game of Thrones or Succession, which didn't have quite as many viewers as Game of Thrones, probably like a percentage of that, but still very highly anticipated series finale. If you don't watch it live, tough. People are watching it live. They want to talk about it. It's a television viewing experience. I think when it comes to a regular episode of the show, wait a few days or put a spoiler tag. But when it's the next day and it's a hugely anticipated series finale, tough.
No,
I didn't get to watch it live.
Not tough.
No,
not tough. Not tough. No, I finally got a day off from sports, and I watched Succession because that's how it goes. I'm sorry that my teams are presently in the championship round. Both of them right now. I am. No, I'm not. I will not. I'm sorry, but I will not apologize. But Dan, the urge that you're trying to fight is your just natural insistence on being a leaky faucet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I would have never pieced together that someone in the Roy family would have betrayed someone in the Roy family. That goes against the entire history of the show. There's a backstabbing and a betrayal, and you can't trust anyone in this family?
There's a board meeting?
How could I figure that part out without you?
I want to understand what I'm supposed to do once Kendall Roy has become an internet meme and him walking haunted down a hallway.
Yeah, but that's every episode. I've seen Kendall Roy haunted on my timeline, and I can't distinguish what that's from. I just saw episode 3 of Succession. It's called Connor's Wedding. I was so happy that what happened in that episode wasn't spoiled for me.
You're not even going to say what happened there?
No. I am not going to say what happened there.
That was it's a key plot twist.
Yeah. It's called Connor's Wedding.
But how do you avoid?
I was stunned and so proud of my teammates for not spoiling it for me.
That character was upset that was the ending for that character, and I don't want to speak about this 2 months after the plot twist that...
No, you'd rather spoil the finale that happened 3 days ago.
I just want to know what the rules are.
The rules are don't ruin it for me.
So I'm talking 3 hours a day. How am I supposed to talk about Succession?
No, it's fine. We'll just wait and talk about it in August. We'll just wait. Yeah. We'll just wait a few more months.
Thank you.
Literally, no one's talking about the cultural moment that was the series finale of Succession on Sunday night. We'll wait until it's the least amount relevant to talk about it on our hugely popular daily sports show. We'll just wait until then, Mike.
Dan, you had your chance with Adnan. What happened there?
You guys can talk about it. Just put a bunch of alarms and bells on the front end. Say, all right, we're going to talk about something that just happened in the finale. If you don't want to listen to this, don't listen to this episode. Get out of the room. Cover your ears. Do whatever. You got to give appropriate things.
You can't on this?
You can't do what you did yesterday. Which is mention one of the characters by name. And what you did yesterday.
If cheeky pun at that.
If there is something with that cheeky pun involved in the Succession finale, I am slapping you across your face.
Kevin was very upset.
Just across your face.
I personally thought that Bill Simmons was just doing a Kendall Roy impression during his meme. Just looking disheveled and looking shocked.
Yeah, again, you guys think that that's a spoiler? I follow an IG account and have for several years, which is just called Sad Kendall Roy. So Sad Kendall Roy showing up on my IG timeline does nothing for me.
Here's the thing. I was busy on Sunday night. I was at yet another wedding, avoided all of the major sporting events. However, the Succession finale was in the middle of the wedding, so I didn't get to watch it. I avoided social media. I know, tough for me to do.
Tough,
but not tough because it didn't get spoiled for me. I watched it as soon as I could on Monday night, and nothing got spoiled, and here I am today having thoroughly enjoyed the series finale of the show. If you really like the show and you care about the show, watch the show. Make time for the show. It's not that hard.
I understand, and it's incumbent upon me to avoid spoilers, and I've successfully done so, and I want to shout out one special person that made it possible for me to not know what happened in episode 3 of this most recent season. Elon Musk. Thank you for ruining Twitter so much that I could successfully avoid this major because Twitter sucks now. And I miss out on all these memes and stuff because you're putting things on my timeline that I didn't follow.
By your spoiler rules, Jessica missed Game 7. I wasn't allowed to talk about it the next day. Didn't actually get to talk about the Succession finale because I was being yelled at by Mike Ryan about spoilers and how it is that you talk about these things. So I am now going to discuss this more generically than I would have liked And I am warning you on the front end, just skip the segment if you don't want to hear anything.
Get out,
about
Mike. Just
leave him for the day. That's all I asked for.
No, just sit in the penalty box. Just
not
go,
one, but two.
Just get out of here.
Very rough.
Go ahead.
Like sand, tough, rough, sandpaper.
Just get out of here. The way that it ended, the way that Succession ended, is the way that it had to end for it to be the comedy that it is. I know it's a drama and I know that it's a tragedy, but it's also a comedy. You've heard me say while talking about this show that I really can't figure out what's better, whether it's the writing or the acting in that show, because the actors were able to summon something that I really enjoyed about it. And it's beyond the siblings, their ability to look as adults and act as adults like children, to reduce themselves in a way where they were on the screen, stealing the screen, and you can see beyond all the family dysfunction that was being celebrated on the show and laughed at, that they were able to summon something that looked like childishness. Everybody was awful in the show. The most honest relationship was between Connor Roy and a sex worker. The sex worker was the most normal one of anyone there because she was not in disguise as someone who would give it all up in exchange for money. And the way that it ended as an indictment of wealth and selfishness and greed in America on HBO, and I haven't seen this in a lot of the critical acclaim and the commentary and the think pieces that get born when America is gathered around its television watching something. What's happening at HBO, killing that kind of content because corporate greed rules overall, is inescapable as HBO Max gets disassembled because of corporate greed. Brad, what did you like best about Succession? I don't hear a whole lot of people saying anything bad about it. It's one of these rare things. We can be divided on anything. We can argue about anything. And I do not see a whole lot of criticism and in general, I don't see a lot of criticism, and I also don't see a lot of valid criticism. Like, people seem to be sitting out the idea that this was just an artfully done, well done show, and by consensus, one of the best television shows ever made.
I think that with the performances that were amazing, as you said, Kieran Culkin being my favorite one, that celebrity siblings, unexpected celebrity siblings, are having a moment right now. But between Kieran Culkin, not the Culkin that was on our radar for so many years, and now arguably the most respected Culkin, which is a trophy I'm sure anyone would want. But now, remember the Olsen twins? The Olsen twins were millionaires, rich beyond their wildest dreams, and we thought nothing could ever touch the Olsen twins. And then a Scarlet Witch arises, and now there's a new Olsen.
I have another one for you. Elle Fanning. Remember when Dakota Fanning was like the it actress, and now Elle Fanning is is exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. You're right. This is the year of celebrity siblings. It's a good take. I like it.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that if you're a lost Sheen or maybe a Wayans that we're unaware of, you can have a future.
Or a Skarsgård.
You still have a chance. Is there another Hemsworth that we don't know about?
I think aren't there already a couple? Do we need more?
Oh my God, it would suck if you were like the Cooper Manning of the Hemsworths.
I think there is one.
There's
a third one.
There's a third unknown Hemsworth. Is he hideous to look at as opposed to the other?
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
Next to his brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, but everybody.
No.
He's an 8 in real life, but then next to those guys,
he's a 10 in real life, but next to those guys,
he's a 4. He's a sad 4.
Not as muscular either.
One of the things I liked about the finale, and this won't spoil anything, but there were a lot of great sibling moments. It was like the pitfalls and the peaks and valleys of sibling behavior, right? Like, one minute you're laughing, you're like daring each other to eat something gross, and then the next minute you're physically assaulting each other in a conference room. Like, I absolutely love that because I have a lot of friends that are only children, and it's hard to describe sibling relationships to them, because from an outsider's perspective, sometimes it seems like I hate my sister, right? But then like my sister is the only one who understands the things I understand about my parents. So we have like a connection with each other that no one else and I will ever have, right? And I just find that aspect of it to be so hilarious. I think they depicted it, and obviously to an extreme, right? Because these siblings are fighting over wealth and power to a degree that no regular person will ever encounter or compete with their siblings for. But I just thought that it was at their worst moment in their lives. They're all like in their mid to late 40s. They're still doing dumb sibling shit together.
They've tried to conceal, and again, I don't want to ruin any of this, but they tried to conceal the seminal moments in this show in a number of different ways publicly. They, in front of camera people, they taped multiple endings. On the board, the signature moment that Mike was talking about from the 3rd episode of this season, they didn't describe it as blank happens. They just put it on the whiteboard as Larry David, which doesn't have anything to do with anything. But what was your favorite part, Jessica, of everything it is that you were watching with Succession when it's so artfully done? And for whatever reason, money is something that people are hugely fascinated by. The idea that this seemed to resemble, at this time in America, what is happening with the entire Murdoch family and the fights for money and power. The thing that you liked best about Succession was?
I think that it was so restrained, because there were, a lot of these HBO shows get fan theories on Reddit, and everyone thinks some like crazy thing's going to happen in the finale. And a lot of these shows, there is something crazy that happens. I think Game of Thrones and like Westworld, like those types of shows, it's like this insane thing's going to happen in the fan theories are this and that. But Succession, it was like, the ending was so mundane because their world was so mundane. Like the big drama was a meeting in a conference room. And I love that the writers didn't try to make it. There was no explosion. There was no like murder scene. There was nothing. It was just as boring as episode 1 to a lot of people was, the finale was, because the biggest drama was just stuff going on between the characters. There wasn't a lot of action sequences or anything like that. It was just phenomenal writing. And I think the other thing that I loved was that the writers knew who the characters were from the first episode, and the audience was we were the ones who learned more about them each time. But they were so true to those characters. They were fully realized in the pilot, and you don't really fully get a grasp of what's really going on until the finale, when there's a couple things that are revealed, and you really understand, like, oh my God, like this writing was just absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Support the writer's strike.